Welcome to another episode of the Red Arrow Health and Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Marco, with my lovely co-host,
Jessica.
How's it going, Jessica?
It's going great. How are you, Marco?
Excellent.
What are you drinking tonight?
I'm having a Whiskey Ricky.
What's in that?
It's half a lime, some whiskey, some seltzer water, and ice. That's it. Nice and easy and simple.
Is it sweet?
No. Sweetest thing in there is the bourbon.
Fantastic.
And you?
I'm having a Kentucky Mule.
What is a Kentucky Mule?
It's a little bit of whiskey and about a half a can of sugar-free ginger beer and a little squeeze of lime, all mixed together in a glass.
A little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll.
No.
That's whiskey.
Maybe. I don't know. It's really good, though. Highly recommend it.
Awesome. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
So, Jess.
Yes?
Big week.
It was a big week.
You had a birthday.
I did.
You had Mother's Day.
I did.
The pool opened.
It did.
Kind of. Except for it's too cold to go swim in it.
It's open and it's got blue water in it, so that's exciting.
Yeah. We opened it and then it rained and it's been in the 50s. But hey, 70s and 80s forecasted for next week. So we got it open at the right time.
We did.
Shocked it. We just got to get the last of the leaves and everything else that kind of slipped into it out of there. And it'll be good to go just in time.
I'm so excited. The kids can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Get some swim laps. Somebody other than Gator Boy will get some swimming in.
Exactly. I'm going to beat him.
Are you?
I am.
It's on. So if Gator Boy's listening in, it's on.
It's on.
Yeah. The 20-something-year-old Gator Boy is being challenged and called out by the 30-something-year-old Jessica. This is going to be great.
I do like to swim.
We'll see if Gator Boy responds.
Yeah.
In addition to the pool, we also Stevie Beef. We are actually, there's interest in Stevie Beef. This robin in our window, or in the bush by our window.
Yeah, have we talked about Stevie Beef?
We talked about Stevie Beef last week.
Okay.
And Stevie Beef has now got a hashtag on Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, Stevie Beef is she's our little robin who made a nest right in the middle of our front room window. And we can see right into the nest. We can look her straight in the eye all day long, every day. And it is fantastic and magical. So I've gone out, I don't know, once or twice every single day to check on the eggs and take pictures of them. And now the eggs have hatched. And there are 4 really ugly babies in there that are popping their heads up with their mouths open every time something comes over the nest. And it's really cool. The kids think it's amazing.
And another adult robin has joined in to help feed the babies. The kids just assume it's Mr. Beef.
Yeah. Apparently there are daddy robins. I had no idea. Did you?
No. Kid number 4 is so cute. She runs in there several times a day to check out Stevie Beef and see if Stevie Beef's in there and her babies. She has named, not only did she name Stevie Beef, she named everybody in the Beef family.
So funny.
So funny that an American robin family are the Beef family.
The Beefs.
But Mr. Beef is Beefy Beef.
Beefy Beef.
Then we have Stevie Beef, the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4 new hatchlings. Eggy Beef, Yogurt Beef, Birdie Beef. That one makes sense.
It does.
And then my favorite, Bacon Beef.
Bacon Beef! She said that to me last night and I died. I could not stop laughing.
Oh, we expect big things out of Bacon Beef.
Yeah, he better be the first one to fly away. Mm-hmm.
He's the rebel in the family. Well, aside from the beefs, we also had yet another week of e-schooling. I think this is like our 8th week of e-schooling. This is our 9th week trapped at home. Mm-hmm. We did have spring break in there, which was a break from e-learning.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. But we were all still stuck at home. So it really has been 9 weeks of shelter in place, quarantine, life in the age of Rona. Yay. But how did e-schooling go this week?
E-schooling was interesting this week. We've got kid number 3 who had lots of first grade tears. He is completely over e-schooling. He hates having me as a teacher. I'm not too fond of him as a student at the moment with all of the temper tantrums that he's throwing over the simplest tasks. Like, you have to write a sentence for each spelling word. This is something that he's done all year long. It's not new. He even did it last year in kindergarten.
And this is a kid who loves school, is a model student, is easy for teachers because he's Mr. I'm going to follow the rules. And if there's not a rule, I'm going to invent the rule and make sure I follow it and everybody else follows it.
Exactly.
Except for at home, where now he's like on the verge of getting expelled from homeschool.
I am ready to expel him. But also, I realize that this is about the time in the school year when the teachers start bringing in the movies and they watch them for a couple of hours straight.
Or extra recess or double gym or
exactly.
something.
So maybe we need to add a little of that into our e-learning days next week.
Well, and Kid 4 is walking in, like she gets up early, runs down the hall, bursts into the room, and wakes up her brothers. Mm-hmm. And they both have dark circles on their eyes these days.
So tired. Kid number 2 is missing his friends and social interaction, and it's I don't know, it's hard. I think it's becoming hard for him.
It's hard too because he's third grade. He's not like his older sister where they're getting into texting and video chats.
Yeah,
they're third grade boys.
Yeah, we did a parade for another person at our school. And he got to see one of his best buddies in another car, and they were leaning out the car windows to say hi to each other. And it was so sweet. He had the biggest smile for the rest of the night after that.
But that was the extent of the conversation was, hi, I see you. Yeah, you see me. I see you.
They're little boys. They don't have a lot to say.
And that's part of the problem with they can't, even if you use some of the kids' messenger type things.
They're just going to sit and stare at each other.
Yeah.
Say, look at my truck. I like that. I'm reading this book. Let's watch this movie together. No, thank you. And then, oh man.
Kid 1.
Kid number 1 had the biggest week of all. We had to do the big talk portion of family life this week, aka health class. The teachers did not give the kids any indication of what they were going to be learning. There were no specific words mentioned to sort of pique their interest at all. It was sort of left up to the parents to provide all of the details.
Yeah, I loved all the emails going, parents, please read ahead. Parents, please talk to your kid ahead of time. Parents, do this. That's cool and all. But I would have loved some support on the teacher side. And I don't want to beat up on the teachers because they've been phenomenal through this whole thing. Yeah, they're amazing. They had to turn on a dime and convert from in-person learning at the elementary level, and I realize even at the college level they had to do this, but at the elementary level, turn around on a weekend and suddenly do e-learning and work through technology issues. That said, on this specific lesson plan, and maybe it's just me, and I think you're with me on the academic background, when we're learning about the birds and the bees, let's use the scientific terms. And let's not literally say the birds and the bees. I think we're past 1956.
I think we are too.
Let's use the proper terms.
We had to do this on video chat. All of the meetings were on video chat.
Oh, there's no hiding your face.
Each other. I could see all of my friends. My kid could see all of her friends. And it was very embarrassing for everyone. But maybe...
Well, for the girls, so the parents... you guys were having a great time with text messages.
We were having a back channel with text messages and making, funny comments.
You were the cool kids in class passing notes.
We totally were. And it was so much fun for us. But it would have been nice if the teachers maybe had just mentioned the word sex at one point. Just to throw it out there so the kids could go, what's that?
I went to that school, and it was pretty graphic, but on a very scientific clinical version when I had it in 5th grade. So when they started, you're telling me, and kid number 1 are telling me, they're talking about birds and the bees, and kid number 1 is not understanding how birds and bees connect together.
And she still doesn't because I didn't bother to explain it to her because it's dumb.
But I was kind of rolling my eyes. I'm like, we're going backwards because they had this nailed down in, decades ago when we just, look, it's a biological process and we taught it like science class.
Yeah, that's not exactly what happened. So they have these videos that they had to watch, and I had to sit with my daughter and watch all of them with her. And
they produced in 1995 or something?
No, they're recent. They add new ones every couple of weeks. It's actually a pretty cool website. But I don't want to get too far into that because I also don't really want to critique it too much. But so every so often when we were watching one of the videos, I would pause it and I would ask her questions and do you have any questions? Can I explain this particular hormone to you? Do you understand what this word means? Stuff like that. So we got to the part where they mentioned sexual intercourse and I stopped the video and I was like, do you understand what's happening right now? And she said, yeah. And I said, kid number 1, do you understand what that is? Do you know what those words mean? And she said, no, I have no idea what's happening. So I explained it to her and her eyes got really big, and she turned kind of pink. And I said, okay, do you have any questions? And she sort of said, no. And then we started the video again. And then all of a sudden she stopped it. And I said, oh, do you have a question? Can I answer it for you? And she goes, yes. Mommy, did Molly Weasley have red hair the whole time? Are all of them a family of redheads? And I just sort of stopped, and I was like, wait a minute. That is not where I thought this was going at all. And literally every other question she asked for the rest of the night was either directly related to the Weasley family or about Harry Potter in general.
Were you able to spin Harry Potter at least back to genetics?
Yes, actually, we had to watch a video on genetics and the recessive and dominant genes, and so I did sort of tie all of that together for her, and she appreciated that. She was like, this is so cool, because she has red hair, and so she's very interested in how that exactly works.
Did you get into, like, Mr. and Mrs. Weasley really liked each other?
No, she did not want to talk about anything related to sex after that. She said it was weird, and she was all done talking about it. So, yeah, that was an exciting time.
Yay!
And our next 2 kids after her are boys, and then you get to have all this fun when they go through it. Yay!
Oh, well, that's, merits a drink. As does her other big assignment of the week. And I feel bad because it's like, again, the teachers at all the levels we've worked with have been just amazing through this whole Corona thing. But it seems like for kid number 1 this week, it was not their best week out of the bunch.
I want to be perfectly clear. I absolutely adore all of the teachers at this school.
Yes, but so the big talk thing, and then part of it is this package is handed to them and they have to present it. And they've done a great job presenting the package to them. They don't do the content development for it. It's a Catholic school, so basically they're handed, it comes through the Catholic pipeline, and this is what you will teach. And they've done a great job presenting it, organizing these video chats and group discussions and putting it out there, but they're told what terminology they have to use.
Exactly.
So my problem with that part we just talked about is not actually with the teacher.
Nope.
However, this one assignment came out, and holy cow. And I put a thing out on my personal Facebook about how one of the great tests of a marriage is to, on the fly, redesign the interior of your house in the aisles of IKEA. Do it with 2, 3, 4 kids who are worn out, just to further rub those raw nerves. You know what? And be stuck in traffic and traffic jams or something on the way there to really push it.
And also have a broken air conditioner.
Oh, yeah. So, I feel like IKEA needs to have some like Swedish marriage counselors wandering through with like a tray of meatballs too.
That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I put this out there along with this next piece I'm going to talk about. And of course, everyone's like, your IKEA is open? I'm like, you guys are missing the point of this. Because the test of family bonds, I feel like, is trying to help your procrastinating 5th grade daughter who got an assignment on Monday of week 9 of being trapped in the house together.
Mm-hmm.
That's due on Friday. Yep. To design and build and execute and record a Rube Goldberg machine. If you don't know what these are, if you ever played the game Mousetrap as a kid, it's the multiple steps of just useless systems to do a simple task and make it as complicated as possible. In this case, it was to get a ball in a cup, or we took it up a level. We used a 5-gallon bucket as our cup. And had to have at least 10 steps.
10 steps.
And you were talking to a lot of the other moms, and either they were ready to kill their kid, or their spouse was over there ready to kill the kid because they were the one working with it. And there's usually the one, the ones where you were talking to where like your friend you were talking to was working with the kid. It would be the spouse who's in the background with the good idea fairy coming fluttering in with these bright ideas. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
They're all going to get a divorce.
My favorite was at the end of it, they got theirs to work. And then her husband came walking in and he goes, it's not complicated enough.
Oh my God. So this is a level of stress. And any other year, brilliant.
Or, even if this had happened at the beginning of our quarantine time, it would have been totally fine.
Or we had a weekend to work on it.
A weekend would have been nice.
But getting it on Monday, due on Friday, everyone's afraid. We got 11 school days left. And of course, our kid procrastinates on it. So then it's like she designed it and she drew it out on a piece of paper, and then she started working on it. And then Dad jumps in, going, "Okay, you're going to be up forever. Let's start doing this." And like things like a book falls on a button, like one of those Christmas stomper buttons that turns on the fan moves the little car, and blah blah blah. It keeps going from there. Well, the car wasn't really quite going. Well, like, you know what? I can help you. I got a bigger fan. I've got one out in the garage. It airs out my hockey gear. I'll go get it. Then it starts getting more complicated. The Christmas light tree button thing handles electrical outlets and plugs that have 2 prongs. My big giant fan that airs out my hockey gear is a 3-prong. It has a ground line on it, and the electrical switch doesn't have that. Do we have an adapter? No. Do we want to go to the store in the age of Rona to go get an adapter? No.
So we spent an hour looking for a power cord we haven't seen in over a year.
Yes. The one that has that built-in adapter to it. No. Okay, there's part of this was a domino effect of Jenga blocks. Okay, not bad, but trying to get that every time it went and like another step didn't work correctly. We had a big yardstick with a needle on it falling down, trying to pop a balloon. Well, if it missed the target, have to set all the dominoes back up. Or if we get partway done and somebody bumps it and they automatically go.
There were a lot of tears.
It's a lot of tears. Dad sets up 3/4 of the line, kid sets up 1/4 of the line, kid turns and bumps one and they all go down. Not to mention where we did this, because part of her design used the stairs and gravity. The dominoes are upstairs on carpet. Mm-hmm. And the Jenga blocks. So they're already a little wobbly to start with. So yeah, a lot of steps, a lot of raw nerves. And again, actually, that all went down last night. We were going to record this podcast last night.
Yep.
And we finished way late, and it kept up the other 3 kids too, because they couldn't even come upstairs. The whole stairs were blocked. We had like hockey pads funneling a ball that was going down and hitting a box and transferring the energy to release the yardstick that popped the balloon. The balloon would open up the hole, and the ball that was supposed to go into the hole would roll right in. And there was like, what else? There was a Nerf gun hits a textbook, a physics textbook.
Yes.
If anyone got that joke on the video I posted on my personal account, they didn't say anything yet.
They didn't say anything. I got it.
Yeah, the physics book falls, hits the button, and so trying to get the Nerf gun to hit the book so it's just teetering enough but not falling on its own. That turned on the fan. We couldn't get the car to go right, so then we had a big phone cord board the fan would blow that would hit the car would go down a Hot Wheels ramp, hit the dominoes. Yeah. Oh, it took hours. In fact, the original video starting at the finish line and working its way back is in nice sunshine done in the middle of the afternoon. The finished video was after sunset.
Yeah, we had every light flipped on in the house.
Because it seemed like how many different successive approximations of it, like one of the steps would fail.
Yeah.
And then at one point, we got really lucky because Kid 1 was recording it. We had switched out roles, so I started using the Nerf gun and shooting because like she had like 6 rounds in the magazine on the Nerf gun, and 5 would miss the book, and the one that would hit the book would hit it in such a way that it wouldn't knock it over. So it's like, look, sweetie, I'll shoot. You shoot the video. And then at one point, I look at my phone and I'm like, holy cow, we're at 1%.
That would have been so bad.
Yeah. Our luck, if I had not noticed that, our luck would have been, it would have worked great and the phone would have died.
Yep.
But it finished, and here we are about 24 hours, actually, not quite 24 hours later. About 24 hours later. And it's time for a cocktail.
Definitely.
What a week. But aside from e-schooling, what else was going on, Jess?
We did Kid Meal Part 2 this week, where they decided they wanted to continue cooking once a week. They thought that was pretty fun. And we said, okay, great, but you need to make it diet friendly for us so that we can eat it too, because we don't like to make more than one meal.
So we gave them 3 options.
Yeah.
All of which fit what we eat. Mm-hmm. And they decided on taco night.
Taco night.
Plenty flexible. We can do what they like. And we can customize what we need to eat for us.
Mm-hmm. So kid number 1 made shredded chicken breast tacos in a slow cooker. They were so good. Kid number 2 made Mexican street corn that was roasted with a feta herb sauce.
That was not that big of a hit.
No, none of them ate it. They, you know what? Our kids are weird. They do not enjoy sauces.
You know what? I like that sauce.
I thought it was great.
I put it on my taco.
Sad that I couldn't eat the corn.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, they not.
Well, the corn was roasted in the oven with the sauce on it, and then another layer of sauce went on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid number 3 made strawberry shortcake sammies from scratch. And kid number 4 made guacamole with help. She smashed the garlic like a champ. And she peeled it with her teeny tiny fingers.
She did. She peeled the garlic clove, singular.
Mm-hmm.
I did like 6. We like lots of garlic in our guacamole, but then she did a great job with the smashing.
Mm-hmm.
Laid the knife down, and then it was one of those plastic knives, and she just slapped it and kept slapping. She thought it was so much fun.
But yeah, so aside from the Mexican street corn, all 4 of the kids snarfed down their dinner, and it was amazing. And then we could actually eat it too, and it really was delicious.
Yeah, we just skipped the tortillas on our tacos. We had basically lettuce wraps, and we ate the same thing they did. Oh, we didn't eat the actual corn, but like I said, I took the sauce with the feta cheese in it.
I didn't think to do that.
And drizzled it over my taco.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the strawberry shortcake.
I didn't have it either. But it looked wonderful.
Hey, kid 3 made those biscuits from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Then he made a little sandwich out of it. He took the strawberries and macerated them with the sugar and everything. And then he made whipped cream from scratch. He needed a little help because you crank that power mixer or hand mixer up to 9, the highest setting. It gets a little wild for that little guy. So I held the bowl. Well, because you got to hold the bowl and hold the hand mixer. So I held the bowl so he could put 2 hands on the hand mixer.
Yeah.
But he whipped his own whipped cream.
That's awesome. And then we did a little gardening this week.
We did. The kids got you little gardening kits for Mother's Day. And this is from we had meant to do this years ago. You actually got a Christmas present with one of these kits. And I don't even know where it is. It
has disappeared.
We never planted it. But it's from the Backyard Safari Company. Not a sponsor, but These things are so cute. We're happy to say it. They come in little egg crates, and they've got all sorts of ones of grow pizza, grow salsa, grow chilies. And you ended up with grow your own honeybee habitat, grow your own colors, which is just wildflowers, grow your own herbs, and grow your own cocktails, which is the really fun one.
Cocktails, yay!
And you open it up, and it has little sticks for labeling, a little golf pencil, it has the instructions, and it has dehydrated, compacted dirt to grow them in. So you take these little, like, biscuits, pour a cup of water on them, and all of a sudden, now you've got nice soil. You put it into the egg crate. You put your seeds in. It gives you the instructions. After about 3 weeks, you transplant it into something larger. So we've got that going. Kid number 4 was a little disappointed because we planted them. We put the seeds in. We put them out by the sun. And then she went down for a nap. And when she got up, she's like, it's still dirt.
Yeah.
Mommy, where are the flowers?
She said, where are the baby flowers? Like the baby birds. They've hatched. Where are the baby flowers? I said, oh, that's going to take about 3 weeks. What do you mean? Yeah.
3 weeks is an eternity to
it is.
Kid number 4.
Especially when you're stuck at home not doing anything else other than literally watching dirt.
And in the Grow Your Own Herb Garden, what were the herbs that they included? Do you remember?
We've got thyme and oregano and Italian parsley and basil and sage and chives.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And the cocktails, do we have like a margarita and Mai Tai and old fashioned?
I need a tree that grows Mai Tai. That would be amazing.
Well, we should have gotten that pizza kit too, because then we could get a Hawaiian and a meat lovers just coming off the branches.
Yeah. That'd be great in Michigan. So for Grow Your Own Cocktails, it's got mint and lavender and thyme and Thai basil and lemon balm and borage.
And it came with cocktail recipes that use all of these in it. So this is going to be fun. We're definitely going to be reporting back on this and giving a review on it. So hopefully they turn out.
I think that they will. There were a lot of seeds in those packets, so I'm sure at least one of each is going to take root and grow and make something happen.
Well, we'll give updates, but probably not next week because this is going to take like 3 weeks before they even pop up if it sticks to the schedule.
And then we have to move them.
But if anyone else wants to try and experiment with this too, Backyard Safari Company, they're out of Georgia, USA, not not Georgia, not former Soviet Republic. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It'll be a nice little review. And cocktails.
Cocktails. Everyone loves cocktails.
And if that wasn't enough for 1 week, we also have the Laker Duel going on. So this is part of the Summer Racing Club, which is kind of like the sister group to the Red Arrow Challenge and Red Arrow Health and Wellness. This is the summer conditioning program and club that I do as part of my coaching as a high school and middle school coach. And we have virtual races, and we've done this before, and with the whole Corona thing and the track season getting shut down, we kicked it off in the spring, and I added a few extra races. And so knowing that it would be cool because we're here in Michigan, I didn't want to include swimming yet because these are multi-sport races, trying to cross-train and not wear the kids out over the summer in terms of just run.
Yeah.
Make it fun, and make it fun for the adults too. So the Laker Duel was a bike and a run virtual race, and depending on your age group, you were assigned distances. Our whole family did this.
Even kid number 4?
Kid number 4. It was kid number 4's first race, and she's just a little thing. So she had to bike a half mile and run a quarter mile.
Mm-hmm.
She did great. Very proud of her. She's so very proud of herself. And then she's going around like, oh, my legs are sore. I don't think for a second her legs were sore. It's just everybody else in the family was whining about being sore.
My legs were super sore. I was ready to die at the end of this.
Well, one point she was telling me her legs were sore as she was bouncing on the couch.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not sore.
She's just being dramatic.
So we all did this. I think it went fairly well. I was pretty excited. For my piece on the bike, I was able to, even though it went out, and we looked at the radar, and we really had 2 good days on the forecast to really squeeze this in, and we've got 4 kids. So you took the warmer, what was supposed to be the warmer, nicer day, and I took the colder day. So I went out, and there was some wind, and of course the wind's coming in just away a certain angle where I did my bike portion in the neighborhood, which is a big loop. But just as I come to the top of the hill, and I turn, and where I should start picking up speed going downhill, I turn the corner, and it's, bam, cold air. And I went out, and I'm wearing my gear that I would wear when it's like in the 70s or 80s. Yeah, it was in the low 50s. Crap. Because while I'm prepping my bike, I'm on the side of the house, I'm fine, and I'm in the sunshine. Part of the neighborhood is shady in terms of light. No, we live in not the actual neighbors and stuff.
That's great.
It was just, let's say it was shaded. It was shaded, and then I was out of the wind while I was setting up, and then went out, and kid number 1 and I went out and did ours together. She only had to go 6 miles. I had to go 12 miles, and knowing that this was for time, our neighborhood is relatively flat with one slight hill to it. Mm-hmm. Of course, where I should be picking up speed, man, just cold wind every time you're doing a lap. And in addition, we had some people who were parking their cars weird, and lots of Amazon, USPS, FedEx, UPS delivery trucks coming through. But with all that, I still managed to keep my average above 18 miles an hour, which was pretty exciting, I thought, for me. And also for the running portion, being a cross-country coach, I know all the local courses. Instead of trying to run around the neighborhood, which is just boring, or going and running along roads where you also have to stop for traffic and be more aware, Kid 1 and I went out to one of the local cross-country courses. That's a closed park. We didn't have to worry about traffic. There weren't many people there. There's a 2-mile course because she had to do a 2-mile, and there's a 5-mile course, 5K course, and I had to do it the 5K. So we were able to go and run uninterrupted. So kind of setting things in our favor to not worry about extra distractions, kind of like we had to do when we did the bike piece. And for me, that was my best 5K time as an adult.
Yay!
High school me, junior high me, running cross country would have been appalled by the time. Fat adult me, or less fat now, that was the best recorded 5K time I've had. So I was pretty excited about that, especially on a course where the finish line is an uphill climb. And I didn't go, well, I'm just going for virtual distance. I'll just veer off to the side where it's flat and finishing. I'm like, no, I'm running this course the way it's supposed to be run, like my high school athletes run it. They finish on an uphill sprint. I'm going to sprint up this thing uphill. Mm-hmm. And then I had to go find kid 1 who wasn't done yet and then go, oh, perfect. We actually went and she hadn't run that. Well, she had ran it a few years ago, but had a guide with her who was one of my junior high runners. She didn't remember it. So we actually walked the full 2-mile course with her. And then I started her on her run. Mm-hmm. And then I ran over to my start. And then I did my 5K. Then I finished and had to go find her. And then together we finished her 2 miles. So nice. Her 2 mile took longer than my 3.1 miles. But still, really excited. I'm going on and on about this. Currently, because I can see the results coming in, and we've logged ours. Everyone who I thought were going to be kind of like, well, they're in my age group, and they're going to do pretty good. So far, I've come in ahead of them out of the ones who've turned in their times. And the principal of the kids' elementary school is training for triathlons. He's, as far as I can tell, has always been pretty fit. He's a pretty fit dude. Just narrowly came in ahead of him. So that was pretty exciting for me. And there's a few other just very active runners. Well, they are active with biking and outdoors. And so far, I've just my time is just kind of holding there, and they're coming close, but not there. Now, there's always the ones I'm not expecting, the ones who don't post many distances, who could come flying in at the last minute. But so far, I'm like, wow, I'm pumped about it.
It's awesome.
As for you?
So I was actually pretty jazzed about mine too. I know that I got the warmer day, but actually it was pretty windy, and that wind was cold, so that kind of sucked. But I finished both legs of my race in under an hour each, and I'm super excited about that because usually it takes me a little bit over an hour for each part of this sort of race.
Well, and your summer target for 10 miles, wasn't that just by the end of the summer you wanted to hit the 10-mile mark on a bike ride under 1 hour?
Yes, and that was my big goal. And I did 12 miles in under 60 minutes, and I was so excited. I did a happy dance after I got off my bike and stretched my legs for a minute, and then I did the dance. Anyways, then I did the running leg, which I actually walked because I don't run, with kid number 1 tagging along, and she talked nonstop the whole time. But I also finished that 5K in under an hour, and that is actually pretty amazing for me.
And I think I should add in here, one of the caveats for this race are that both legs of the race had to be finished on the same calendar day.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could go take a nap.
I wish.
Or wait for kid 1 to go watch another family life video or read a Harry Potter book.
Yeah, no. All in one day, the same time frame.
We did it. Kid number 3, I felt bad for. He got off to an awesome start, but he was a little nervous about the whole 2 miles on his bike. He had a shorter distance. So he asked for me to put his training wheels back on just in case. And then he got out there, he was doing a half-mile loop 4 times. Got 3 loops completed, goes to do his last lap, and one of the training wheels falls off.
Yep.
And it was just enough to throw off the balance and everything, and he crashed it. So then we had to take it into the pits. Now the rules are, once you start a leg, the clock keeps running until you cross the finish line for that leg, and then it stops, and you don't restart it to the next leg. You don't have to worry about transition time. Well, okay, and I asked him, do you want to redo the first 3 laps? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, the clock's going to run while Dad plays pit crew on your bike. We put a different training wheel on. So it did. And so he had a horrible time for his bike. But then he went and did the run, and kid 1 and kid 2 are doing the same lengths. They're close in age. And kid 2 and kid 3. So kid 3 is the one with the bike that had to go into the pits with the clock running. But he did an amazing run.
He did. He's so fast.
He blew his brother out of the water. However, because of the bike fiasco, his older brother, ended up with a time that's like 3 or 5 minutes faster for the total time. So when people see this, because it's going to get published for the club, they're going to like, oh yeah, the older kid went faster. It's like, no, you don't understand. I mean, kid number 3 ran times that some of my junior high runners can't do. He only had to run a mile, but he ran a mile time that's faster than some of my junior high kids, and he's a first grader.
Yep.
I can't wait for this kid to get older, and I mean, I love him.
Let's not go rushing things.
Well, it's not about rushing things. I do enjoy just having him be a first grader, and it's fun. But boy, he's going to be fun when he's older.
Yep.
That's the big excitement with the Summer Racing Club. But for the Red Arrow Challenge here in that Red Arrow Health and Wellness, our club, our virtual challenge, Week 4 is done. Week 5 is in progress. So let's give some kudos to those Week 4 champions in each of the different activities.
Swimming.
Not a lot of swimming going on yet, but the men, as we mentioned before, Gator Boy's back. He was on top in the 20-29 division, as well as El Tiburon 95 in the 40-49.
Running.
9 and under was Yellow Ninja. 10-19, Ronin Runs. 20-29 was a tie with Smitha and Super Mario. 30-39 was Helmet 85. 40-49, Try Again. And 50-59, Jamar.
Walking.
9 and under, a new name on the list, Alina 2010. 10-19, JoJo. 20-29, Smitha. 30-39, Mrs. Coach. 40-49, another new name on the list, Fernanda. 50-59, Bill. 60-69, Kilogram Ill. So gangsta. 70-79, No Don. And still no 80-89-year-olds and no 90 and ups.
Biking on road.
9 and under, Vivian. 10-19, Allie. 20-29, MC Grant. Nice to see that MC Grant has rejoined us. He must have went on vacation or something. He didn't turn anything in for a while. 30-39, Cyclopath. 40-49, El Tiburon 95. 50-59, AR Miller. 60-69, Kilogram Ill.
Biking off-road.
Not as many of these. 20-29, it was a tie between Smitha and Super Mario. No 30-39-year-olds. 40-49, Cyclone. And 50-59, Mrs. Golden.
Sit down paddling.
10-19, Bailey's. 50-59, AR Miller.
Stand up paddling.
20-29, Gator Boy. 50-59, AR Miller.
Cross country skiing.
40-49, El Tiburon 95, and 50-59, Big Juan 64.
Skating.
10-19, JoJo, and 20-29, Gator Boy.
Hockey.
Sadly, still no hockey. The local rink even threw in the towel and finally pulled the ice out. It had to be done. They were planning a rink maintenance in August where they were going to take down the ice and everything, but boy, with this 9 weeks off now, well, they were going to be off for spring break anyway, so 8 weeks off. Can't really afford to take it down in August, so they took it down now. They're going to put the ice back in, put a fresh paint job, so that when we can finally get back on the ice and start doing things, whenever that is,
it'll be perfect.
It will be perfect. I miss hockey.
I know. And points.
For points, 9 and under, Yellow Ninja came out on top. 10-19, Ronin Runs. 20-29, MC Grant. 30-39, Helmet 85. 40-49, El Tiburon 95. 50-59, Bill. 60-69, Kilogram Ill. 70-79, No Don. And then there are featured members. When it comes down to just you and me, I won in running this week.
I don't run.
Yeah, you didn't run at all this week.
I know.
But you won in biking on the road and walking. And those are two things I actually did also.
Yay, me.
So you did. However, my running was enough to carry me over the top. Because I did walk and I did bike. But I also ran. So it gave me enough points to win against you in points.
Fine.
Suck it, Jessica.
Shut it, Marco.
How's your week 5 going?
It's going well. I've gotten on my bike and it's been a little rainy, so I've had to be on the treadmill. But I've done it. Gotten some entries in, so that's good. Racking up the miles. How's your week 5 going, Marco?
I was planning on it being a big week. So far, the only day I could get on my bike was the day that I did the Laker Duel, the virtual race. And then we also had Rube Goldberg machine night that
really messed
up things,
because it was actually really nice out.
It was nice out, and the rain had stopped because we've had just bands of rain coming through. So, and you and I were planning on we'll go outside and go for a bike ride, or we'll go for a walk or a run, or at least we'll get on the treadmill. No, we're doing Rube Goldberg at 10:30 at night.
Woot.
And it was just, at that point, it's like, we're not working out at this point.
Nope.
So all in all, it's going pretty good. In fact, I even got on the treadmill tonight before we did this.
Me too.
Got in a 3.5 mile run, turned on YouTube, Foo Fighters live in Hyde Park. That kept me jazzed up going through it.
Awesome.
Keep moving for everybody out there, and can't wait to see what week 5 looks like.
It's going to be amazing.
Sweet. For our main feature tonight, we've been doing a lot on cooking lately. We did a week in the life, we did what's for dinner, we've been posting recipes on our site, took a short pause from that when it ran into the technical issues, but there should be more coming up. So, that got us thinking cooking, food. And for those of you who cook, there's a lot to do with the Trinities. The Trinity of French cooking. Onions, carrots, and celery seems to go in everything. The Trinity of Cajun cooking. Onions and bell pepper and celery. Well, when it comes to weight loss or fitness, if you aren't looking to lose weight, you just want to maintain and be fit, we have a Trinity for that too. The Trinity of weight loss and fitness, diet, or if you prefer, nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Both of us have found that you do one of those, you're not really going to see results.
Nope.
You do two of those, you're going to see some results, kind of mixed results. If you can get all three working together at the same time, you have a great time. If you can get what you're putting into your body correct, your physical exercise correct, and the sleep, the recharging piece correct, you're going to have a great time. You're going to be great along your way. Now, getting all three components to work together in life with 4 kids and everything else going on, easier said than done. But that trinity of nutrition, exercise, and sleep, you got to find a way to at least get 2 of them together, if not all 3. Now, we've talked about diet and nutrition some, and we'll talk about it more. We talk about exercise all the time. I mean, we've got the Red Arrow Challenge. We just finished talking about exercise. We've got the Summer Racing Club, too, and virtual races, because that's all we got going on. All the real races have been shut down at the moment. But we haven't really spoken about sleep. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Tonight is our sleep show. And for this, we're going to run through our top 10 tips. Keeping it simple. 10 tips for better sleep. So I'll kick it off.
Okay.
Number 1 is, first and foremost, be realistic. You are not going to fall asleep immediately when you go to bed. So don't even think,
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Now, there are those times where you're just so completely exhausted where, like, when we had very, very young children, usually newborns home, I could set my head on a pillow and bam, I'm out. Sometimes I was out before I hit the pillow. That is not quality sleep. On a regular basis, any given night of the week, you're not going to get right into bed and fall asleep immediately. So don't expect to. And then you got to plan your schedule around this. If you're going to go to bed at 11 p.m. and you've set your alarm for 7 a.m., don't expect that, that's 8 hours away, that, oh boy, I'm going to get 8 full hours of sleep. Dream on. It's not happening. 1, you're not getting in bed every night on the dot. 2, you're not falling asleep right away. So you're already right there. If you're going for 8 hours of sleep, you're setting yourself up for failure because it's not going to happen. You're not going to be in bed long enough. That leads into another point about that is not every person needs 8 hours of sleep. It is a recommendation based on research and large sample sizes. Some people need more. Some people need less. Some people can function on less. Good for those weirdos. But the flip side of that is not everyone has time for 8 hours of sleep.
Mm-mm.
And really, you got to factor on more time than that in bed just to get that sleep and building up those habits and getting used to that. So be realistic. If you live a lifestyle where 7 hours is really all you can manage, or 6 hours is all you can manage, then that's what you manage. Mm-hmm. But don't go, I'm a failure if I can't get 8 hours. No, you're just a busy person. Try to get as much as you can, and what you get, try to make sure it's quality. So again, be realistic. Along with making sure you have enough time to be in bed, if you go to bed at 11 p.m. and you have toddlers or younger children who gets up at 6 a.m. in the morning, don't expect a full 8 hours of sleep because you're going to be up shortly after 6 a.m. when they come in and wake you up or start, in our case, ours opens the door, pokes her head out, see if anyone's around. Nope. Slams the door.
Slams.
3 minutes later, pokes her head out, nobody around, slams the door. So there's door slamming.
Super fun game.
She doesn't really come into our bedroom and bother us.
None of them do.
No, they'll knock on our door forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. No, some households, the kids come in and jump on mom and dad. Whatever. That's the family dynamic you have.
Mm-hmm.
But the door slamming, there's right. I'm up, I'm getting up. So be realistic. Whatever your family dynamic is, you've got to build that in and plan on how much sleep you're going to get. If you know your kid is getting up at 6 a.m. every morning and you want 8 hours of sleep, you've got a back plan to make sure you've got enough to work with. The best way to put this all together is figure out how much you currently get. Take a baseline. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. You can do it old school, keep a notepad next to the bed with a pencil. When did you go to bed? About how much did you sleep? What time did you get up? Kind of tedious. If you have an activity tracker, like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, most of these do this for you automatically. Mm-hmm. It's just one of the features. So use the data there. Easy. You don't have to do anything. It automatically detects when you fell asleep and when you went to bed. Go back, review that. Look over several weeks because there's going to be outlier days. Who knows? Maybe you have to stay up late and do a Rube Goldberg machine or something. Maybe one of your kids is constipated and full of crap and you got to stay up with them holding their stomach all upset. Stuff happens. So ignore the outliers. Look for the general pattern. When are you usually going to bed? When are you usually getting up? Then from that, you can make adjustments.
So now we're going to talk about some environment factors. So tip number 2, set the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want it to be dark as possible. We actually have sunlight blocking curtains in our room, and they're actually black on the side that faces us. And then I think they're also black on the side that faces the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty cool, and they work exceptionally well at blocking out all of the sunlight.
For the part of the window they block.
Well, yeah, because we have this goofy half-circle window thing that's super high in the air, and they don't really make curtains for those. So, anyways, they work really well, and I highly recommend them. We don't have night lights. We don't have, like, the bathroom light on. It's as dark as we can possibly make it.
When I was in high school, I had a lava lamp going when I went to bed at night.
Really?
Yeah. There's the kid across the street. I'm assuming it's the kid, not the parents.
Oh, yeah.
Where it looks like a rave or a disco going on in one of the bedroom windows in the upstairs of the house across the street every night, like flashing colored lights.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in that
I'm
bedroom,
assuming
but
it's the high school senior.
Probably.
And not the husband and wife. But maybe it is, and maybe that's their thing, and who knows?
You also want it, yeah, so no flashing lights, no night lights, no glows from TVs or electronics. None of that. If you have an alarm, like an old school alarm clock next to your bed, and you find that light is bothersome, you can actually take like a note card and prop it up against the timer, or you can turn it to face against the wall, or whatever you need to do to make the light not shine on your face.
Throw a t-shirt over it.
Yeah, that works too. You want it to be cool in your room. We have our temperature set to, I think, 68 degrees at night. And actually, if it goes lower than that, I'm okay with it because I like it to be a little bit chilly. I like to snuggle into my blanket.
We used to set it cooler until we had little kids.
Yeah. Actually, I think 65 is actually a really good temperature for us to sleep. I feel like I do my best sleeping around then.
For us as adults, but when we got little tiny bodies, and especially when they're not quite old enough for large blankets yet, and they're still wearing their footy jammies as their primary insulation, yeah, we got to keep it a little warmer.
Right. And then noise versus no noise. Some people need to have a white noise machine, like me. Some people like for it to be completely silent. So it's a personal preference. Whatever makes you comfortable and will help lull you to sleep, you should definitely do that.
Whatever works for you, you do you.
Yeah.
I know for me, and like the white noise, you've got an app on your phone, But like on nights where you're staying up working on stuff, and like I gotta go to bed. I go to bed, and it's dead silent in our room. I I can be extremely tired, and I can't fall asleep. At least not as fast as I normally do, because we don't have the white noise generator, because it's an app. You're not there snoring or whatever.
Hey.
Hmm.
Fans work really well for white noise if you need that.
And having it dark and the noise feeds into tip number 3. Get the TV out of your bedroom.
Yep, no
People,
TV.
You know what? Netflix and chill, awesome, cool. Get it out of your bedroom. Go Netflix and chill on the couch or something. In the living room. If you really want to watch, just snuggle into bed and watch a movie, you can get a small projector and project it on the wall. But on a regular basis, get out of the habit of trying to fall asleep with the TV on and the sleep timer on. The light from the TV is not conducive to trying to fall asleep. The noise is not conducive to falling asleep. It's engaging you. I mean, come on. TV programs are meant to be engaging, so you'll keep watching, so they can keep getting ad revenue if you're still watching standard television with commercials. It's meant to be attention grabbing and cognitively engaging. Get the TV out of the room. We used to go to sleep every night with the sleep timer on, and we kept resetting the the TV went off. Go turn it on and set it for another hour and a half or something.
Yeah, that was like all of grad school.
We had horrible sleep habits in grad school from the stress and the workloads, and then we were doing things like that, like, oh, well, let's have the TV on, and we'd be up late with that and couldn't sleep. And look what happened, too. We also added tons and tons of weights to our body. So do yourself a favor, get the TV out of the bedroom. I know when, like, if you're of a certain age, you remember the TV show MTV Cribs, and they, like, walk into the bedroom. This is where the magic happens. And they were always showing off the TVs. It would rise and lower. And
oh, yeah.
Who's got the biggest TV in their bedroom? Who cares? Get the TV out of your bedroom. You will sleep better without it. Train your body. If you want to go watch TV, go to another room. If you want to go sleep, go to your bedroom.
Okay, so the next bunch all have to do with biochemistry. Tip number 4 is limit afternoon and evening caffeine. This includes sodas and coffee and
some teas.
Some teas actually have caffeine in them, so you wanna be wary of that. 4 p.m. is a pretty good cutoff point. It should give you that last little boost that you need to get to the end of your day, but it shouldn't keep you up all night. And this, of course, varies based on your own sensitivity.
In line with the recommendation about caffeine, tip number 5, don't eat right before going to bed. Now, this isn't a kind of Gremlins, Mogwai type thing, but, for some people, it's a matter of there's heartburn sensitivity issues. If you eat a bunch of food and then go lay horizontal, you put yourself at risk of heartburn. Other people, not so much. But you're not going to burn off those calories. In fact, you risk, depending on what you ate, converting those nutrients, those building blocks, down into fat that you then just have to work harder to burn off. Yes, your body does have a metabolism. Yes, you are using some energy when you're sleeping, but not very much. Ultimately, I mean, the food is to fuel your body. So have a bigger breakfast, have a bigger lunch, have a light dinner, but don't go raid the fridge right before you get into bed. And be honest, if you're raiding the fridge right before you jump into bed, you're not in there grabbing carrot sticks and celery.
You're grabbing Cheetos.
Out of the fridge?
No, they're out of the cabinet.
You're getting
next to
something on how you're raiding the chocolate chips in the pantry, or finding some cookies or something. Like, you're not doing yourself any favors. So just don't eat right before bed. The other thing is, there's some biochemistry going on there, the way the body works. You're not helping yourself have quality sleep. And there's also the weird dream factor. Some people just have those weird dreams after they eat. Is that actually tied to what you ate? You'd have to talk to a neuropsychologist that specializes in that, but there seems to be a nice little correlation between weird meals and strange dreams. Best plan, set a reasonable cutoff point where it's like, you know what? I'm done eating for the night. I'm done snacking for the night. Heading to bed in an hour or two or more. I'm done eating.
Tip number 6 is about screen time and blue light. So you are going to want to decrease your blue light exposure before bed. That means that you should not be playing on your cell phone as you lay down to go to bed, because that blue light that's being emitted from it is actually going to mess up your circadian rhythms, and it's going to seriously affect your sleep, both in terms of being able to fall asleep as well as affect the quality of sleep you're going to get. So some devices will let you adjust the color settings based on the time. My iPhone will let me turn it to like a warmer setting, which is kind of nice.
And by warmer, if you're not familiar, when we say blue light, the standard light emitted by most electronic devices has blue wavelengths in it. It might look bright white to you, but it's actually a blue light. It's got that glow.
Mm-hmm.
And on the smartphones, and most of them, I know our iPhones do. I assume all the
Androids.
Yeah, the Androids, the comparable models. When you go to the warmer light settings, and you can set a timer where it switches over. The warmer, it's more of an orangey yellow.
Yeah, it's just, there's really no other way to describe it other than warm.
Yeah. Orangey yellow.
So cutting out the screen time will also allow your mind to start to settle. And of course, your sensitivity to this is going to vary. Some people are seriously affected by it, like little kids are extremely sensitive to it, whereas adults might not be as sensitive as their children. So you kind of need to play with it and see what cutoff time is going to work best for you. I think that a cutoff time of 30 to 60 minutes before bed is a good target for an adult. For children, it should probably be longer than that, just because it's going to take their minds a little bit longer to settle down and process, okay, now it's time to sleep. I'm going to do my bedtime routine and I'm going to lay down and go to sleep.
And this, of course, overlaps with tip number 3 of get the TV out of the bedroom.
Yep, because that light is also going to mess with your circadian rhythms and affect your sleep.
And if you went full MTV Cribs, you probably have a giant TV, which emits lots of blue light.
Mm-hmm.
Get the TV out of your bedroom. Staying with the biochemistry theme, tip number 7 has to do with exercise. When you exercise, you're releasing endorphins. You're possibly even releasing an adrenaline rush, depending on what kind of workout you're doing. And if you're playing late night hockey games, or if you're doing late night running, or you're hopping on the treadmill. Maybe not so much treadmill, but if you're super competitive, if you're doing a Peloton where someone's pushing, you got the music going. So how much adrenaline you're releasing changes, but you got the endorphins, you got that runner's high, all that going on. It takes time to come down. It takes time to unwind. For late night hockey games, it's really rough. I know if I have the late time slot, the game ends, I'm not going home and going straight to bed. One, my wife would kill me because I'd stink, but I'm not coming home and going to the shower and straight to bed. There's very few, at the local rink, there's very few shower stalls. I know it's going to take me a couple hours to kind of just mellow out after I get home before I can go to bed, which is, again, for the late night games, it's rough. When possible, try to wrap up your workouts 2 or 3 hours before you get in bed, because your body's just not ready to go to sleep after you've had an intense workout, especially one where you're really fired up. If it's some sort of competitive thing, if you've got late night racquetball, or you're in a softball league, or you're just somebody who likes to go for a run after, put the kids to bed and go out for a run, you're not walking in the door, taking a shower and jumping in bed and going to sleep. It just doesn't work that way. And if you do fall asleep, maybe as a cat nap, you're going to be back up about 15 minutes later. So plan accordingly.
And our last 3 tips have to do with habits and routines. So number 8, give yourself time to wind down. When it's time for bed or you're ready to go to bed, go. Don't stop to change the laundry load. Don't stop to reload the dishwasher. Don't check and respond to emails. Don't do anything else. As soon as you feel that sleepy feeling, stand up, walk to bed, brush your teeth, go to bed. Nothing else. Because you want to catch that sleepy time feeling so that you can make the best use of it.
Yeah, don't start doing activities that are just going to wind you back up. You're there changing laundry loads, then you start thinking about the next load, and then you start thinking about what is going on, what's my morning meeting, what's the agenda, and then you've got all these thoughts running through your head, and you just can't go to sleep. You want to relax that brain. And then there's tip number 9, make bed a place for sleep, or Well, maybe one other activity. You want to let your body know that what goes on in bed and what does not. There's a time and a place for everything. Don't work in bed. Have a home office somewhere else, not on your bed. You are not Hugh Hefner in the early days of his publishing career where he ran his magazine completely from his bed. Don't work from your bed. Don't have your laptop in bed. Don't eat in bed. You have a kitchen or an eating area or a dining room or something. Go there. Don't put crumbs and all sorts of stuff in your bed, and don't have your body think, what goes on here. You wouldn't want to sleep in your office. You wouldn't want to sleep on the kitchen table. You wouldn't want to do other things that you do in your bed on your kitchen table. Or maybe you do, but you probably want to wash it before you eat there.
Giggity.
Yeah, giggity giggity. Make the bedroom a place for sleeping and maybe the occasional other activity. But keep it to that. Don't work there, don't eat there. If you're a reader, go find a little reading nook or a reading chair somewhere else to read. Don't sit in bed and read and make that your reading spot. Set the mood, like we've said before, set the stage and use it for its intended purposes, plural.
And tip number 10, can't sleep? Get out of the bedroom. Don't just lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Counting sheep doesn't work either.
Or cracks in the ceiling.
Yeah. After 30 to 40 minutes of laying there tossing and turning and trying to fluff up your pillow to get it just right and make your blankets absolutely perfect, if sleep is not happening, just get up and leave. Come back when you start to feel tired again. I know that for me, if I can't get to sleep, I will actually walk down to our library and I'll sit and knit.
Yes, we are nerdy enough that we have a library.
We have so many books. I'll sit on the chair down there and just knit, and I'll knit and knit and knit until my hands get tired and eventually my brain gets tired and I stop thinking about all of those thoughts, and then I'm ready to go back upstairs and try and sleep again. Other times, if I don't have a project that I'm working on with my knitting needles, I'll take out my journal and do just free writing. Anything that pops into my head, I'm going to write it down. And I will do that to the point of exhaustion. And then once my mind is quiet and I think that it's time to go to sleep, I'll go back upstairs and climb into bed.
So those are our 10 tips. Before we go, though, we want to share a little bit about implementation. That's all good, well and good. You may have heard some of those before. You may have heard all of them before. Who knows? They're based in scientific research, but we try to keep it from getting too boring and nerdy. But how do you put that into practice? How do you apply it? Well, that's the implementation piece. So the first part is get yourself organized. Now, I do want to say organization is not a genetic trait. People go, well, so-and-so is just organized, and I'm just not. I just didn't get that gene passed down. It's not a genetic trait. It's also not a personality disorder. Well, they're organized, and I'm not. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Being organized is a learned behavior. Anyone can learn it. Anyone can add it to their repertoire. Anyone can make themselves become organized. It's just a matter of doing it and reinforcing it and keeping it there. Part of being organized is setting a schedule. And in this day and age with smartwatches and smartphones, it's easier than ever because you really don't have to be that overly organized because it does the work for you. Let that digital assistant do something. It is a smartphone. Let it be smart for you. You can set up alarms for your quit eating alarm. You can set up an alarm for your I need to wind down alarm. You can set up an alarm for going to bed. Now, I do want to add, when you're picking your alarms, be sure you pick something soothing for your alarm or set it to a vibrate. If you have a jarring alert, it's counterproductive because it heightens you wake up. Don't set some sort of death metal song that you have on your playlist as, oh, that's my I gotta go to bed. No, you just perked back up your mind and went, whoa, time to be awake, time to think about what's going on. Classical music's good, so not something too rousing, just it's a slow song, something, calming, like, hell, it's mellow, it's time to go to bed.
And lastly, be consistent. You have to do this every single day for weeks on end for it to take root and for it to become a new habit for you.
You're breaking old habits and creating new habits, and that's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in one night. You can try all these things in the first night and like, oh, I tossed and turned, I tried it all for one night. It's not, come on. This gets back to tip number 1, be realistic. It takes time for your body to adjust. So give it the time, give it the chance, but you need to be consistent for it to have that chance.
Mm-hmm. And then if you are doing all of this consistently and you're still having trouble sleeping, falling asleep or staying asleep, you need to seek professional assistance. You need to go talk to your doctor and talk about all of the things that you've tried and how they're maybe not working or not working as well. And he or she can direct you to some tests and some things that could be done to help you.
And if one of those things is a sleep study, be sure to take a selfie and put it on social media with all the wires hooked up, because it's going to be awesome looking. Come on, have some fun with it. And with that, it's time to wrap up yet another episode of the Red Arrow Health and Wellness Podcast. We've got some great things lined up for the next podcast coming ahead, especially next week's. Really excited about it. We've already We've already started working on the content for that one. So check back. We put them up weekly. Hope you download them, tune in, subscribe, all that fun podcast stuff. We enjoy making them, and the downloads keep increasing. So apparently people like listening to it. But for now, Jess, it's been fun.
Loads of fun, Marco.
Let's do it again next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye.